In this video, I'm going to show you class and object concept in C#. So we have already discussed about the data types, variables, functions, and so many things. But now I'm going to discuss the one of the important topics in C# is class and object. As we know that C# is a object-oriented programming language. So object-oriented, it contains the class, object, and it has the concept of inheritance, polymorphisms, encapsulations, and so many things. So what is class and what is object? We'll discuss it later. But first of all, let's understand about the concept of the class at first, before going into the definition and so many things. So if I talk about if I say the animal, so if I say the animal, what do you understand about it? If I say the animal, I think you may try to, remember some animal names and related to the animal, but actually it doesn't contain in the real world. Animal, it doesn't contain in the real world. It means it contain in the real world, but it doesn't take any space in the real world. So, but if I say the tiger, if I say the lion, if I say the lion, or if I say the ELEPH and elephant, and other animal name, in other animal name. So if I used to speak this animal name like tiger, lion, elephant, any other animal name, they exist in the real world and they take space and they have the properties and they can do something. So if let's take an example of the tiger. So tiger has certain color, certain height, certain weight, and tiger used to kill other animal like deer and other animals. So it is the function of the tiger. So it has the properties, every animal has the properties and the function. Function, properties and function. So every animal has the properties and functions. So if I take an example of the board also has, if I take an example of the board, and it doesn't take any space in the world, but if I talk about the crow, 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 owl, or you can say sparrow, and any other part. So it has also the properties and the function. But board itself doesn't take any memory space, anything in the world, but it only represents the objects. So the definition of class is it represents the templates of the object. It just represents the templates of the object. It is the blueprint of the object. An object is the instance of that class. We have already seen so many data types in the C# tutorials. So let's create in one variable again in equal to 5. Then I can put the value data 5 into the variable A. But what if I want to create my own data type? That is, I can create the complex data type by using the class and objects. So class is also the one of the data types. So it is a complex type data types. So let's create a class. You can create the class by using the class keyword, and you can give the class name. If I'm making the class name as a student and start with the curly braces, and you can create anything you want, like the data type, the functions and other things. So let's create the ID, student ID is equals to 1, and let's create another student name is equals to, give the student name because I'm creating only the data type. It means only the in the ID and name. This is the data member. And if I create the function inside the class, this is known as the method. I'm not gonna create this time functions. I will show you in the next video. And every executions of the program start with the main functions. Here isn't any main functions. We don't need to create main functions, but also I'm gonna create the one main functions, and I will make object of that main object of this class, and I'll show you detailing in here. So let's create main functions. So static means we didn't need to, call that function. So it is already inside the class. So static, it already gives me the suggestion, but I'll try to write all the code in static void main string args, and then I can make the object here, class object here. It already shows me the suggestion, but I won't use here. I just try to make you understand, make you clear. So just type the student. This is my class name. STU student. This is my class name. and I can give the reference here. So whatever be the name, ST, I'm giving the ST as a student name, and his cus2, we have to use the new keyword. And to create the object, again repeat the class name here and give the small process. So this is the syntax of how we can create the object of this class student. So by creating this object of this class, we can access the all the properties of the student class into this object. New student is our object, and we can access this ID, name, and other properties inside this student class. We'll access into new student object, and we can represent it by through the reference variable. This is the reference. So it will take the memory space, memory block. You can say memory block in RAM, or you can say in a memory block. And ST is our reference, and it will represent there. It will represent the address of that memory block. And we can access the every properties, data, memory, and anything from the class we need to access through the reference. We can access through the reference. And if I want to know the ID of that student, then I can just type the st and dot. This is our dot operator. Dot is used to access that value, and just type the ID. Now, if I run this code by pressing the Ctrl F5 or pressing the run button, you can see output is 1. In this way, you can create the object, class, and you can just display the value of properties of the class into the object. So how we can create the object and how we can access the value. Now you can access the name also, and you can create the function inside the class. And if you create function inside the class, that is known as the method. So if you are the function, the function and method is not two different things. If you are creating the function inside the class, then this is known as the method. So we'll discuss other things, remaining parts related to the class and objects in another videos. If you get this video is useful, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe this channel. Thank you.